Mohammad Marandi is a political analyst and professor at the University of Tehran. He joins me live from Beirut. Thank you very much for joining us. Are we any clearer about what Iran's role is in this? Did Iran plot this or not?
It's obvious that the Iranians had nothing to do with this. This is a fabricated story. Now, how the Americans... it's obvious because, first of all, there's no motive. There's no reason why the Iranians would carry out such an operation. The ambassador is not even an important person. There are many, even if the Iranians hypothetically wanted to carry out an operation, there are so many targets in the Middle East that are much more accessible and high profile. But why would Iran do it in the first place? This only benefits the United States. Even the story itself is pretty ridiculous. The Iranian who's allegedly behind the plot, he goes and speaks to a Mexican hitman from a Mexican drug cartel. He tells him, my cousin is a big general in Iran. I mean, why in the world would he give that sort of information to a mercenary, to a hitman? And then later on he even goes on, he says the number of people who are killed are not important. And then he calls Iran and speaks to the so-called general on the phone. A general in Iran behind such an operation would speak on a phone, on an international phone, to the United States. It's completely unbelievable.
Now, the U.S. obviously disagrees with you. They believe that they have credible evidence. There are so many players within Iran. If it's not the high command itself, do you suspect that there could be somebody else who possibly might have been interested in doing this?
No, I don't think, it's definitely not anyone in Iran behind it. And I don't think the Americans really believe it. I have a quote from Hillary Clinton. She said, the idea that they would attempt to go to a Mexican drug cartel to solicit murder for hire, to kill the Saudi ambassador, nobody could make that up, right? Even she doesn't believe the story. It's clear that it has nothing to do with Iran. It's basically an attempt by the United States to increase pressure on Iran through this outrageous story. The United States is on decline in the region. It has trouble at home. And people in the region and beyond the region have now, especially after 9/11, we've all gained our degrees, our BAs, MAs, and PhDs in American hypocrisy and dishonesty.
How do you think, if this is not great, obviously, for relations between US and Iran, what sort of impact do you think it's likely to have on Iran's relations with Saudi Arabia? They're not good at the moment, certainly after Saudi Arabia sent troops into Bahrain.
Well, again, this is an interesting point. When you look at the Western media, they're basically towing the line. I was watching CNN, and they were basically repeating what the American government is stating. The European Union, I don't think that they really believe this, but the Europeans will more or less do what the Americans want. They may drag their feet a bit, but they're not very different from the United States. Saudi Arabia, who knows? It's clear that the Saudis, if they have any sense, they would know that this is not the story is a fabrication. But then again, the Saudis have they're close allies of the United States. And who knows?
Okay, Mohammad Marandi, thank you. Good to talk to you.